Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to share with you how I prepared these sticky garlic honey salmon bites. I literally can't even explain how good they tasted, but if you're a fan of garlic and honey, this recipe is for you. So to start off this recipe, firstly I used 500 grams of salmon, and then I simply started cutting the salmon in some bite-sized pieces. I was just thinking as well, I've never actually made salmon in the oven before, so it's something that I'll definitely try out. Cutting the salmon does require a lot of effort, so make sure you do have a sharp knife. Mine was like in between sharp and blunt, so it was a pain. When it comes to the skin of the salmon, it is your personal preference. I actually made these salmon bites for my mum and she wanted the skin on, but if I was making it for myself, I would definitely take the skin off. So once you've diced up your salmon, I use half a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of chili flakes, 1.5 teaspoons of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of all-purpose seasoning, and then I also added in 1 teaspoon of mixed herbs. You can either allow your salmon to marinate overnight or for a couple hours, but I decided to just cook it straight away. So now the next step is to cook your salmon. In a non-stick pan, add in some olive oil and allow it to heat up. Make sure your pan is hot so your salmon can have a really nice sear on all sides. So since the salmon is cut into really small pieces, it won't take that long to cook. So on a medium to high heat, I ended up cooking the salmon for around 4 to 6 minutes. I didn't want to overcook it or cook it any longer, simply because when I add in the sauce, the salmon will continue to cook. Make sure to keep on checking on the salmon to see how it's doing, and then after 2 to 3 minutes, this is how it should start to look. So after the 5 to 6 minutes, I simply remove the salmon from the pan, and now it's time to prepare the sauce. So just so you guys can see, this is how the salmon turned out after cooking it for around 4 to 6 minutes. It's completely cooked on the inside, and then the next part is to simply just add it to the sauce. So now to make the sticky sauce, I added in 1 heaped tablespoon of fresh minced garlic. Allow the garlic to cook on a medium to low heat in the leftover oil from the salmon. And then after that, on a low heat, I added in 3 tablespoons of honey. Make sure your heat is low because you do not want the honey to actually start burning. Make sure the heat is low and allow the honey and garlic to simmer together for around 30 seconds on a low heat. After this, I then added in 1 teaspoon of chili flakes, and then I also added in 1 heaped tablespoon of dark soy sauce. And then just to finish off, I sprinkled on some dried parsley. And now since everything's added in, I turn the heat to medium and cooks everything together for literally around a minute. If you do want your salmon to have a very sweet taste, I recommend adding in another tablespoon of honey. And then this is literally your sauce done. The final part is to add your salmon into the sauce. And at this point the heat was on medium. I didn't want the salmon to actually overcook, so as soon as I added it into the sauce, I simply turned the heat to high and started turning over the pieces so they all get really nice and coated. And then literally after around 30 seconds, your salmon should start to look a little bit like this. But then after this point, I gave it another minute and I simply turned off the heat. You might not feel like your sauce is sticking onto your salmon as you thought it would, but that's simply because it starts to actually become sticky once it has cooled down. So I recommend once your salmon has cooled down and the pan is not as hot, you slowly give it a mix. And yeah, this is actually how the salmon bites turned out. I simply garnished it with some dried parsley as well. I literally can't even explain how good they turned out. The garlic and the honey work so well together, and adding it to the salmon just brought out a whole new flavour. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one.